We are usually reviewing gaming keyboards, but today we have something different. The Logitech Craft is a keyboard created for designers and artists. Logitech has accustomed us to quality peripherals, both in design and functionality, and this Craft keyboard is proof of that. Its selector disc, called a crown, is a novelty that extends the keyboard's possibilities, and although it could offer more functionalities, it is a very handy tool designed so that the most creative among us can unleash their full potential. Design. As we stated before, Logitech is very attentive with the design of its devices, and the Craft is no exception. It is carefully made, very attractive, robust and balanced. It is a full-size wireless keyboard, and quite heavy. It is divided into two areas, the key area, and the upper bar in aluminum, where we find the crown in the upper left corner, and the power and battery LED in the right one. This is a membrane keyboard, and it is not intended for gaming but for professional work. Despite this, the key sensation is very good. This is due in part to the optimal distance between the individual keys, and to the comfortable central groove they have. It doesn't have multimedia-specific keys, instead they are integrated into the function keys, along with other utility keys. I am a fan of dedicated multimedia keys, since I find it somewhat uncomfortable to have to use the FN key to access these functions, or lose the utility of the F keys if I activate them by default, so this is an area where Logitech can improve the Craft. Since this keyboard is designed for both Windows and Mac PCs, Logitech removed the Windows key, and instead added the typical Start and Apple Command key found on Mac keyboards. This is also a backlit keyboard. The backlight works really well, and is motion sensitive. You just have to bring your hands closer to the keyboard and it will illuminate automatically. It uses white LEDs, so there is no RGB lighting, which is okay since this is not a gaming keyboard. Last but not least, let's talk about the crown, which is the element that really sets apart this device. It is a cylinder with a metallic surface, that can rotate freely or step by step, depending on the app that we are using it with. It is also touch sensitive. Performance. Using the device, the overall feeling has been very good, although there are minor flaws that Logitech could improve upon. It is a very quiet keyboard, very comfortable to use, and I seldom made a mistake while typing. In addition, being compatible with Logitech's unifying technology, you can use it with a Logitech mouse using a single dongle. The wireless connectivity works perfectly, and switching from one device to another is as easy as pressing one of the three dedicated buttons. The default crown function is volume control. In web browsers, it switches between tabs. In Microsoft Office it can change the font size, style, or size of an image. In Photoshop, by touching the crown you can activate the display of contextual menus that will give you access to a multitude of options, and here is where we uncover the crown's full potential. Other Adobe programs, such as Illustrator, InDesign, Lightroom, and Premiere, are also capable of taking full advantage of this keyboard's unique capabilities. Finally, we have to talk about battery life. Despite being a backlit keyboard, we expected better autonomy. During our tests, the battery lasted for 8 days. This seems somewhat short, especially if we compare this keyboard to the Logitech K800 that can reach almost a month of autonomy. Taking into account that on a full-size keyboard the weight is usually something positive, since it makes it more stable, we would have liked for Logitech to increase the battery's capacity in order to offer us a longer autonomy. In any case, the keyboard will warn you well in advance when needing recharging, and it can recharge completely after being connected for a few hours. Everyday use. Leaving the wheel aside, the Logitech Craft is simply put, an excellent keyboard. We have taken a real pleasure to use it on a daily basis, and it offers all the advantages of a premium device. The backlight is very good, and turns on and off automatically. The typing is silent, membrane keyboard remember? And the concave keys offer excellent control. In the office, this keyboard is very pleasant to use. We would have expected no less from a premium device, but we did find a flaw with the spacebar, that has a tendency to squeak. Verdict. There are not many good keyboards that are also backlit. And writing on the Craft is really fun. I also like its weight, even if that makes it less portable. But in my everyday life that hardly matters. Many of the flaws I listed are only minor. I expect more from a premium keyboard from an established manufacturer. As a buyer, I do not want to feel like a product reviewer. Logitech has acknowledged that the squeaky spacebar and similar build problems were fixed in a recent hardware revision. In any case, I'll probably buy a Craft, although I find it far too expensive. But the backlight, the solid typing experience, and low input delay, are very important factors for me. I have not been so much satisfied with a keyboard for a long time, and writing comfort is paramount, at least for me.